Hi everyone, it's Caitlin. I'm here at Franklin Park Zoo today on Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, all the fathers out there. And we do have behind me our giraffes. And we are at our giraffe exhibit today because it is World Giraffe Day. So we are excited to be celebrating that here at the zoo and doing a Facebook Live to share more about giraffes and their conservation. So right ahead of us here, we have one of our two giraffes. This is Amari. And so Amari is our female giraffe. And we do have she just went down the hill. We do have another giraffe. And if anyone wants to guess what our other giraffe's name is, you can put that into the comments if you've been to our zoo before and you know what their names are. We have another male giraffe. So if you want to put his name in, you can take a guess. Amari's kind of walking a little bit in a different direction over there, so we'll try to get a closer look at our friend. So we are celebrating World Giraffe Day because, he's doing a little move around over there. So there's our other friend. I almost gave his name away. Did anyone put any guesses? So this giraffe is Chad. And so he just came over. I'm not sure if something startled him over there. He ran in this direction, maybe to see what Amari was doing. So they're heading towards the middle, and I'm not sure if you can see it in here, but we have a third friend in our exhibit as well. It might be kind of hard to make out there, but we have our Grevy zebra, Menelik, in there with them as well. And if some of you have followed us on Facebook, the Menelik and Chad have a little bit of a bromance going on. They are friends in this exhibit. Amari kind of does her own thing, but those two have been seen hanging out together, which is pretty cool. So the reason we're celebrating World Giraffe Day is because, of course, they are an amazing and beautiful species from Africa, but they are also an endangered species. Oh, he just went over to say hi to Menelik. So we have Maasai giraffes here at the zoo, and they are one that is considered endangered. But there are multiple species of giraffe. So if anyone wants to put into the chat if we have any giraffe experts or we have any guesses of how many species of giraffe there are. So
we have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Someone would like to know what they eat.
Oh, that's a great question. So they actually just went over to one of their feeding platforms over there where they have a whole bunch of hay. And that is a bulk of their diet. They get lots of hay throughout the day. And they also get lots of browse, which is basically tree branches with lots of leaves on them, because that's what they would be eating in their natural range. So they do enjoy getting their browse too. And a special treat that they get sometimes is sweet potato. That's one that they'll use maybe for training, or they want to give them a special treat for something really good. They're able to give them that. That's a great question.
Somebody chimed in with how many species
Oh,
of giraffes.
perfect.
Laura says 4.
Awesome. You are correct, Laura. There are 4 species of giraffe. And the northern and southern species have subspecies as well. And one of those subspecies of the northern giraffe is the West African giraffe. And with World Giraffe Day today, we are the organization that really helps giraffe conservation is called the Giraffe Conservation Foundation. So they are really working hands-on in giraffe range. And so they help to celebrate this day and highlight giraffes. And so what they chose to highlight which specific subspecies to highlight today, was the West African giraffe. And that is because we believe there are less than 600 of them left, which is a really low number. So they're highlighting that subspecies because they are in fear of endangerment. So they are dropping their numbers, and we really do not want to lose them as a subspecies. So the conservationists are working very hard on the ground to try to protect them. So if anyone has any guesses of, we're talking a lot about their conservation and how they're endangered, does anyone have any guesses of what those threats are in their natural range that threaten the giraffe's habitat?
While they're thinking, Katie Cashman has a question.
Oh yes, Katie.
Why are they living with a zebra?
That is a great question. So here at the zoo, if we do have certain exhibits and habitats that we're able to have multiple species in, then we try to do that because our zebra is an animal that would be living in a very similar habitat as the giraffes. They would coexist in their natural range. So we're trying to recreate that here at the zoo. We want them to have a very naturalistic exhibit and habitat, which the giraffe exhibit here at the zoo is one of my absolute favorites. Because when you look out like this, just like you guys are seeing in the live, it looks like you're looking out into Africa. I think it's so cool to be able to see them all the way across the exhibit. Even though right now they decided to hide on us a little bit, we can try to see if we can get a little bit better look. But as many of you know, have come to the zoo, our giraffe exhibit is very large. So there's many different viewing spots. So we originally came over to this spot because, as you saw, Amari was right over here trying to stick her head over to get some browse over the fence. But they decided to go do their own thing, which, as many of you know, that's what happens with animals. They do their own thing.
We have some guesses about why they are endangered.
Awesome.
And Linda says habitat loss. Kathy says other animals. Martha says people.
All right, so we had habitat loss.
Other animals.
And people. Yes, those are all correct. So their biggest threats are habitat loss, fragmentation, so them losing their habitat. But poaching and disease is another one. So giraffes are hunted sometimes because they are such a large, amazing species. Some people feel that they need to have them. So that is a very large threat for them as well. They're kind of making their way. You can maybe see their heads popping through. So hopefully they're making their way back over to us now. They're checking out the whole exhibit for us right now. So the organization I mentioned at the beginning that is basically putting on this Giraffe Day, the Giraffe Conservation Foundation, they do a lot of work on the ground with these giraffes in Africa. And so what that means is that if they're in an area where they have habitat threats, they are working to move giraffes, in some cases, to protected areas to make sure that they can live peacefully in those areas and hopefully not be hunted and have a protected area where they can be pretty much guarded in a sense to make sure that they are able to survive. Oh, Amari's, I think she's making her way back over here. But we have a few minutes left, so if anyone has any questions about our giraffes that you want to put into the chat, please do so we can get them answered.
Martha asks, how long have these giraffes lived at Franklin Park Zoo?
Oh, Martha, that is a great question of how long the giraffes has been at the zoo. And Amari here, who's the one coming up to us again, thankfully, she was born here at Franklin Park Zoo. And some of you may have heard this when it happens because she is 4 years old, turning 5 very soon. She was born here and she had a little bit of complications when she was first born. We had to get her a little bit extra care. And then she was thankfully able to turn that around and be a very successful young giraffe. And so she has been here her whole life. And what happened was Chad, our male, he came to us from another zoo to be a mate for Amari. So they are a pair here at the zoo, a breeding pair that we're hoping to have babies from sometime in the future.
Kayla wants to know, do you do any training with the giraffes?
Ooh, Kayla, any training? Fabulous question. So we do training with the giraffes here at the zoo. The zookeepers work with them to provide the best medical care possible. So what that means is they participate in their own health care. So what the zookeepers can do with Amari, because she had a lot of hands-on help when she was younger, she's very comfortable with people. So when the zookeepers come over, she's usually pretty ready to come right over to see them. Chad is more of a typical giraffe, so he checks things out at first and he can be a little bit hesitant, but he has great bonds with his zookeepers. And the training that they do is to make sure that they can get their weight, make sure that they can look at their teeth, look at their tongue, look at their legs and their feet. So all of that is to make sure that they can take the best care possible of them.
Martha wants to know, do you have to trim their feet?
Oh, Martha, that is a great question. And I think that it depends on what their feet look like. Because a lot of times if they're out here moving around on the exhibit, they are able to wear them down a bit. But if the zookeepers find it looks like they need a little bit of a trim, I believe they work on doing that. Great question. All right, well, you guys asked some fabulous questions here. Oh, Chad's doing an interesting run. Maybe you'll see him come around the corner here. There he is. Chad came over to say goodbye to all of you. Hi, Chad.
Everybody wants to know before we go,
Yes.
during the winter, how do they keep warm?
Oh, great question. So in the winter months, it is too cold here in New England for the giraffe. So as many of you know, you probably come in the winter and you do not see our giraffes on exhibit because it's too cold for them. So they have an indoor barn here at the zoo that they are able to go into to stay nice and warm in the winter months. And the zookeepers are able to do a lot of hands-on work and enrichment with them there. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us for World Giraffe Day. And we hope that you are all able to come visit our giraffes at the zoo. And just by coming to the zoo, you are supporting giraffe conservation work. So we appreciate all of your help and efforts and hope to see everyone soon. Bye.